If you are watching this on the replay, I will be playing about 10 minutes of intros, and then I'll go right into the stream. For those of you that are watching live, you know what to do. You got to suffer through the live stuff, Enter your comments. I'm seeing some of your comments, and I'm going to respond to some because I'm seeing some good stuff. So hail to the chat. Hail to everybody else. Let the games begin.
You stole my heart, you intercepted it. Now you're gone, have to accept it. Did I meet your mom too soon? Or did I do what I always do? Yeah, we made it to the 50, and then you kissed me. We made it to the 40, a new love story. We made it to the 30, and you did me dirty right then. You put the end in tight end, and as I touched down, just like you in a game, I'm in another town, and nothing feels the same. Wish I could go back when we met that day. Oh, whoa, and throw a flag on the play. If all of the kings had their queens on the throne, we would pop champagne and raise a toast.
So waiting
to all of the queens who are fighting alone, baby, you're not dancing on your own.
Let's go.
Without me, you wanna, but you get na. Think it's funny, but honey, can't run the show on your own. I can feel my body shake. There's only so much I can take. I'll show you how a real queen behaves. No damsel in distress, don't need to save me. Once I stop breathing fire, you can't tame me. And you might think I'm weak without a sword, but if I had one, it'd be bigger than yours. If all the kings had their queens on the throne, we would pop champagne and raise a toast to all of the queens who are fighting alone. Baby, you're not dancing on your own.
She's the queen and I'm just lucky to get close to the throne. I'm not worthy, but she's taking me home. Yeah. No damsel in distress, no need to save her. She's a goddess, I would never try to change her. She knows she got my world inside of her palm, but she can have whatever she wants.
All of the kings had their queens on the throne. We would pop champagne and raise a toast to all of the queens who are fighting alone. Baby, you're not dancing on your own.
Let's go. I'm a queen, I'm a boss, I'm a brat. Hella independent, I get this, I get that. Shout out to the girls from the burp to the trap. I don't need a man for shit, put myself on the map. Oh, and they thought I was done. I ain't even hit my peak and I'm still on the run. I'm my Lolo on the laptop, I'm running the track. Only time I see it L's in a luxury tax. And my whole team when they post a pic just because they're like, oh, she chillin'. $1,000,000 deals and my lipstick still it. I need acrylic nails, I don't need no credit. So witty gon' glow, so witty gon' shine. Circle full of tens, I don't see no nines. My name on they lips, my name on they mind. How I take it from the block to the Hollywood sign.
All of the kings had their queens on the throne. We would pop champagne and raise a toast to all of the queens who are fighting alone. Baby, you're not dancing on your own.
Well, those are. Did he get
I
shrunk?
was thinking more Pixid, but you know.
Dude, I got questions.
Whoa.
Whoa, what is going on here?
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
It's like a
That
penis.
actually looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
I just wanna chill and twist the lot. Catch stunts in my 745. You drive me crazy, shorty. I need to see you and feel you next to me. I provide everything you need, and I like your smile. I don't want to see you cry. Got some questions that I gotta ask, and I hope you can come up with the answers, baby. Girl, is it you love me now? Would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me, girl? Is it you love me now? Would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me? If I fell off tomorrow, would you still love me? If I didn't smell so good, would you still hug me? If I got locked up and sentenced to a quarter century, could I count on you to be there to support me mentally? If I went back to a hoopty for my bands, would you poof and disappear? Like some of my friends, if I was hit and I was hurt, would you be by my side? If it was time to put in work, would you be down the ride? I get out and feel a nigga kept chillin' drive. I'm asking questions to find out how you feel inside. If I ain't bad cause I flip burgers at Burger King, would you be ashamed to tell your friends you're feeling me? In the bed, if I use my tongue, would you like that? If I wrote you a love letter, would you write back? Now we can have a little drink, you know, a nightcap, and we can go do what you like, you know you like that. Like, girl, is it you love me now? Would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me, girl? Is it you love me now? Would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me, girl? Is it you love me now? Would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me, girl? Is it you love me now? Would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me?
And thank you, Mr. Duckman.
Okay, that's it. That's strike three.
Shoot!
Behind the fire and smoke, a beautiful city now, a war zone, fighting in streets, no time to joke. Just pray we survive, pray we're not alone. The dangers around the corners of every street, but we won't back down. We won't admit defeat. We need a hero, a savior we can need. We need a warrior of justice, a warrior brave. We need a warrior of hope, a warrior brave. We need a warrior of hope, a warrior brave. We need a warrior of truth, a warrior brave. Take a road that lead us all down a path to a call. This is our city, these are our lives. You mutant freaks won't make us die. We need a runway to make us die. We need a warrior of justice. We need a warrior of hope, a warrior brave. We need a warrior of hope, a warrior brave. We need a warrior of truth, a warrior brave. We need a warrior of truth, a warrior brave. We need a warrior to lead the way. Someone who bring light, turn night into day. A warrior brave. It's time to slay.
Stream will start in a couple minutes. I'm gonna play one song as I get more people to come in, saying hi to the chat. I will speak louder in the mic so you guys can hear me thoroughly. Hail to the chat. I've seen people are getting their copies of Street Champion Road Warrior Drake, so I'm happy to see that. I'm getting notifications on Twitter and here in the chat. It's going to be an interesting show today. Interesting conversation on Twitter. We're going to go over it. And everybody that commented, some stuff that I've been seeing for months. So till then, enjoy the music. What do you mean I sound weird? I sound like me, Praetor. I never sound weird. Take that back. Maybe I do sound weird. You know what, Charlie Green? You're a bully. You know for a fact I'm making a book. You know that I have a pages that I'm showing on stream. You know that I'm doing this, and you come out here with fake news every time. Because the space is racist, Jolly. That's why.
It doesn't hurt me. Do you wanna feel how it feels? Do you wanna know that it doesn't hurt me? Do you wanna hear about the deal I'm making? It's you and me. And if I only could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill, be running up that building. Say if I only could. You don't wanna hurt me, but see how deep the bullet lies.
Okay, 8:15. I'm seeing 18 people showing up, so let's get to it. Hail to the chat. Hail to the people in the community. The ones who are not racist. I'll play the song again at the end of the stream, so I like it too. I like it too. Yes, running up that hill. It's good calorie burner for sure. I don't know what this has to do with me or my brand, Jolly Green, but I forgive you. JAV Styler. Hey, JAV Styler. Cloud Busting is one of the songs I used to test headphones on speaker systems. Well, you guys can hear me. You guys can hear the songs and everything, so I think we're good. I think the audio is great, and already people are complaining that I sound like that Puerto Rican down the hallway. I'm not Puerto Rican. I'm not racist, Bear. I love and hate everyone equally. I'm an equal opportunity racist. Therefore, I am not a racist. Well, thank you. I actually, Chief Justice Finity, I will accept that. Yes, I will gladly accept that. So yes, people are getting copies of Street Champion Road Warrior Drake in the mail. I appreciate that. Hopefully you'll enjoy the book. and it'll help you get ready for what's coming up on Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake. So stay tuned for that. Of course, there's the covers right there. And I put this out here before. I am going to the CCon September 29th at Seabright, New Jersey. I'll be there with Dark Gift Comics. We'll be selling our books, saying hi to the community, the real life, the face-to-face community, flesh creatures and all. So come on down. I'll be there from 10 to 4. It's a Sunday. So come on down, check it out. I'm sure you're going to like it, though. So hail to the chat. So yes, Jolly Green being racist. D-Wag in the chat. What's up, D-Wag? Helmet, my good friend Helmet is here. Yes, he's one of the friendly Germans, although he's still pretty hostile to me, but I forgive him. He deserves forgiveness. Carol came in flipping a table at me, because that's what she does. Sci-Fi, his life is gaming. He's the new Prime. Black Hat Cinephile, Lord Raptor Jesus is in the chat, throwing the racist emojis. The lovely Lady Shadowband is here. Hail, Lady Shadowband. Praetor 7, one of my regulars. Glad to see you here. Student of God, who inspired today's stream, is here in the chat, and we're going to go over that thread. Interesting points were brought up in that thread, and we're going to go over it. If I didn't say your name and you were in the chat, please type again in the comments, and I'll shout you out. But before I do that, something I wanted to show people, because I was on Dark Gift's stream yesterday, and you know what's been happening in our space, which should not be happening in our space, but it's happening in our space. The degeneracy and all that shit. Well, we have a little bit of positive, I hate to say positive, but inspiring. I think that's a better word, inspiring. So Horseman went live today. Riververse, Eric July, went live. It's currently at about $230,000, so it's doing pretty decently. And, you know, animated trailer with Dean Cain providing the voice of Horseman and all. But that's not what I wanted to focus on. What I wanted to focus on was the comments by the people in the chat. Here's Rob Cure 85. Admits that the animation of the trailer is good. Jolly Roger discussing how amazing it looks. People talking about ordering their copies and being excited about it. And yeah, it's just, you know, people just excited about the next upcoming book. And whatever, the lesson is not whether or not you like Eric July. That ain't the lesson. The lesson is how these fans, how these customers are anxiously awaiting their products, and they're getting it. And they're just talking about it. They're talking about the contents of it. They're talking about the style, the quality, all that stuff. They're excited. It's a different kind of excitement. It's the kind of excitement we should have had in our space, and we're not getting it. Because we're too busy pointing at these people and making them out to be weird and shit. And it's like, no, that was not what I signed up for. And as a creator, as a comic creator, you would want to have this kind of excitement for your product and for your characters and the world that you're building. You know, it takes work and years to get this, but people want to quick out. And even the quote tweets are something. They're already sparkling is gay. Sparking with excitement, yes. Sparking with excitement over the dropping of Horseman. Yeah, see? Excitement, anticipation. This is what it was supposed to be for us. It was supposed to be this. Now it's we're in a space where people are just saying, hey, your work sucks shit, and this is going to segue into our conversation today from Bad Sauce's thread on Twitter. I'm sorry, X. Okay, I'm sorry, X. There we go, X. The excitement is replaced by just a very, in my personal opinion, so much short-sighted view on art in the comic space, and I've talked about it many times here in the chat. Let me just go up for a second. Let me see here. You know how I do here? I read the chat. My audio's not great. I think it's great. I think you're making fun of me. Who is? That's my name. That is my name, Jolly Green. Believe it or not, my name is not Elasmat. It's not. But everybody's got a nickname, so I use that as my nickname. I'm allowed. Just because I'm a person of color doesn't mean I can't use a nickname. I can do that stuff. I am pockish. I'm very pockish. I'm so pockish that if I'm in your space, you're gonna need to bring a flashlight. That's how much of a pock I am. I am talking into the mic. How do I sound? Do I sound better? Okay, let's see here. And of course, the terrorists in the chat encouraging the violence on each other. How dare I? I dare me, sci-fi is like I dare me every time. Actually, he says that book is coming out this month. It's already in the printers right now, so we're gonna see Hunting Owl soon. Yes, Captain Finity, it's gonna happen. I'm sorry, Chief Judge Finity, it's gonna happen. Helmet here is declaring our end of life. Weak engineers need juice. I'm reading it like the Swedish chef. So I'm typing in English. I gotcha. Okay. I gotcha. Yes. Let's see here. Helmet says Horseman is the first chapter of the Ripperverse. Oh no, I'm sorry. The first character of the Ripperverse that interests me. The trailer was well done, and I'm looking forward to reading this comic. Well, I've gotten the same enjoyment and enthusiasm from people who backed my book. So I love that. It's encouraging, and we need more of it. DWAC says, you guys know I don't speak Spanish. Okay, you gotta say the way they say it. It's just, I know speaky Spani. Every time I get a call from somebody at work and they're like Spanish and they don't speak English, they automatically say speaky Spani. No, you speaky Spani. Speaky Spani. And it's funny because the S sound does exist in Spanish. It does exist. So they don't say speaky Spanish. No, it's speaky Spani. I'm like, I do that Nathan Fillion thing where I'm like trying to say something, but I can't because I'm like, if I do, they'll think I'm racist. So I can't do it. I just have to let them. I just have to humor them and say, "Sí, hablo español." So, so why are we here? What has led us to this point? Well, I was delighted to see a thread by Bat Sauce, aka Student of God. And it's apparently it's regarding a Batman comic. It started with a Batman comic, which I didn't even know about, but it did, and this is what led the conversation that is inspired by what I've been saying in the streams the last few months. And we can go down the list. One, Von Bodie, Rube Goldberg, you know, all those outliers I've discussed. Fletcher Hanks, those guys. Cal Schenkel, we did Cal Schenkel last time. Peter Baggy, Scott McCloud, Jorge. Remember this from Jorge? Yes. Francisco Ibanez, Levin Curio, Mike Mignola, Peppo, the creative Condori. All these guys that we've showcased and talked about, and whose work we shared, all of them. What have I been saying? Their stuff would be laughed at in our spaces because of this very limited view of what art is, especially when it comes to comics. And I've been vocal about it. I've been very vocal. It's racist to say I'm not racist. Oh wait, I gotta say it. You know what? You're right. I gotta say it in Spanish. Then it's not racist. So that's very good. That's a good point. Very good point. JV Stott says, he was living in Dusseldorf. We talked about the Kölner dorm a bit today and how he was able to understand different dialects. Like, oh, you're talking about stuff in the chat that have nothing to do with me. Stay focused, people. Hail to the chat. Hail to the people watching at Rumble. Yes, we are currently multi-streaming on Rumble. Anyway, here's what Student of God says. Do normies care about comic art as much? You know what I should have did? I didn't even think about this, but if I can find it. But I gotta find that. I should start off the stream with that comment by Roy Thomas. And I talked about this in another Outlier stream. I forgot which Outlier stream I did talk about it on, but let me see. I'll see if I can find it. Let's see. Because it really underlines this entire conversation. For those of you that don't know, Roy Thomas is the former editor-in-chief of Marvel. Is this it? Yeah, I think this is it. Okay. No, this isn't it. I'm looking for the interview that he did. And let's see. I wish I could find it. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find that interview because I really wanted to start with this, with that comment that he mentioned. Okay, let's see here. Maybe if I put this in quotations, I'm really would like to start with that because, like I said, it underlines this entire conversation. I don't know why I didn't save it. I mean, I did it for my other stream, but I didn't think I was going to go back to it. I really did not. And let me go to the chat in case somebody in the chat. Of course, nobody in the chat did, yes. Matt Barr's in the chat, yes, Roy. I had breakfast with him once. Very intelligent man, and he was very, very aware of the comic medium as a whole and what it represented versus what people kind of mistake it to be. I'll find that. Oh, damn it! We were so civil too, so freaking civil. Anyway, so Student of God says this. He says the comic below is so Roy Thomas basically said he may not know what art is, but he knows what he likes, and he made a comment about the people, the market, and how they are the ones that determine what's a good book and what is it. They're the ones that determine what is a legacy book, what books become timeless. Fuck, I wish I had that interview. Yeah, I'm gonna go nuts trying to find it, but I don't want to take the whole stream up doing it. So if I find it, I find it. If not, I've already talked about it. So it was actually something that Aldous himself shared. Bancroft's in the chat. Hail Bancroft. Hail Bancroft. No, don't damn me, Bear. I'm strong. I'm a very tough pillar against your spear chucks. So Student of God says the comic below is a recommended comic by many despite the bad art. Now stop right there for a second. So this is apparently getting a lot of praise, but a lot more people are kind of taken aback by the artwork. And I'm looking at some of the artwork and I'm like, why is this a big deal? Like, it seems pretty competent to me. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Some of it reminds me of Mike Mignola's Hellboy. Some of it. But it's very expressive, you know, it's fine. Like, apparently there's some controversy about the artwork in this book. And Paul Dini, by the way, Paul Dini is one of the more legendary writers of the animated series, the Batman animated series. So, you know, he's a good writer. So I don't know, man. I totally wasn't oblivious to the controversy with this. But Student of God continues. Manga regularly offers lesser art with shorter wait times compared to fully detailed and colored American comics, yet they outsell. Why? It's obvious to me that outside of indie comic YouTube scene, that art is not appreciated as much. Art is not appreciated as much. Why is that? He goes on to say, I believe that the threshold for acceptable or passing art is lower because people overall seem to prefer good storytelling and a shorter wait time over highly detailed art. A good cover still sells, though. A lot of the YouTube comic community are led by artists, and they influence the audience to care more about art. Artists care about art, go figure. Also, a lot of aspiring artists hang in their circles as well. Overall, the threshold for acceptable art and storytelling varies from person to person. The numbers don't lie. People seem to value storytelling more. The 90s Topic for All believed the opposite was true. At the time, he may have been right, but what about 2024? Before I go into the replies here, because it's very interesting what the conversation was. A couple things. Number one, yes, manga does regularly offer lesser art, but it's still pretty stylistic in its own way. Even One's artwork is very stylistic, as simple as it was in the beginning. But if you ever go to my stream where I talked about One, and you look at his recent drawings for One Punch Man, as crude as it is, it's very strong in its design. Very strong in its design. I would say superior storytelling visually by One. You can go back and watch that stream and hear my thoughts on that. But he's right about the fact that, like, especially with the YouTube community, artists are leading the charge and they're putting an emphasis on good art, or quote unquote good art, because although I do believe in an objective measure of beauty in terms of art, good art is still subjective. So when I hear somebody talk about, oh, it's about good art, I'm like, well, what do you consider to be good art? And that opens up a whole other conversation. And that conversation is actually had in this thread. So we're going to go over it. So I'll hold off my thoughts on that when we go into the replies here. But yeah, the art sphere of YouTube commands the not narrative, I shouldn't say that. They command the influence that it's art that is important above all else in comic. And And to settle the debate, art and writing together must produce a very good book. One, actually, I would say that good writing can save mid art, but good art cannot save bad writing. So it kind of, you have a little imbalance, because at the end of the day, you still have to tell a story in comics, and it's a combination of art and writing. But let's go down to the comments. And yeah, as far as like the art here, like, I don't see anything wrong with the art here. It's weird that people think the art is bad in this book. It's fine. I mean, it's not. It's not. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Going back into the chat for a second. Okay, here we go. Let me go back to the chat before I go read the comments here. Let's see. Oh wait, Bar got me covered. Wait, hold on. Did I miss something? Oh, never mind. Never mind. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Prayer7 says, people think Dustin and Green can't draw. I mean, like I said, I was not privy to this discussion about this book, but it seems fine to me. Like, I don't see what the issue is. I'm scratching my head. I'm like, people are not allowed to draw a certain way in this space. And I use the term "this space" for reference not just CG or remnants of CG or what have you, but like CG adjacent or just comic communities that are not even connected to CG. It's still a prevalent mindset that has me scratching my head. So yeah, I that's the thing. People think this guy's artwork sucks, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, what's the big deal? It's not bad. I've seen worse. It tells the story visually, so as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty good. It's pretty good artwork. Mazapana says, I miss all the conversations that happen away from YouTube because I never use Twitter. Maybe I should get on there. I'm only showing the best parts, Massive Panda. So trust me, YouTube is a YouTube. Twitter, X is a cesspool. I wouldn't recommend it. So, okay. Joe Santos, I think I misunderstood what this thread was about earlier. Joe Santos was one of the guys that was contributing in this thread. We're gonna read what he said, and he actually had the best. Joe had the best line, and I disagree with a lot of what he said, but he had the best line in the entire thread that made me laugh. I want to show that because we can have a disagreement and still just come away just like chilling and enjoying shit because it's comics, people. It's comics. It's not life or death. So, but yeah, we'll show that. Bancroft studied in Germany for 4 years. Oh, he studied German for 4 years, the language. He lived in Dusseldorf for 6 months. Was pretty fluent by. Why am I reading his history? This is about me, Michael. But hail to your accomplishments. I appreciate that. Student of God says Hunter x Hunter has really bad art. All right, I'll look into that. Chief Judge Finity says, but good writing. But good writing. Yeah, we need good writing along with good art, or good writing with decent art, or as I would put it, good writing with stylistic art. Because sometimes what you consider to be bad art is actually just style, a simplistic style. Jolly Green says, what is he talking about? When you say he, who do you mean? There's a lot of he's in this chat, including myself. So you got to be specific. Bancroft says, art is how you can get anyone to pay attention to you in the first place. Very true. Absolutely true. The RQ says there was a balance of art and story during the Bronze Age. It all changed in the 90s with the image boom and all the new fans who came into comic because of Batman 89. As much as I love Batman 89, I was not a fan of the image movement at all. I didn't like the art. It didn't interest me. To me, it looked like sub-tier level X-Men. I never got into image. I know a lot of people did, and a lot of the people that that inhabit our spaces here were influenced by 90s image. Not yours truly. I'm more of the... I looked at all decades of comics. The 30s, the 50s, the 60s, the 80s, the underground, so the American underground comics movement, the underground comic movement in Germany, all the South American comic movements. I look at all those, and I form my own takeaway and my own style of comics that I'm currently doing with Road Warrior Drake, based on an amalgamation of all that, and just take it and make something of my own out of it. Chief Judge Finity says, it's all about the logo, in which case Yellow Flash is effed. Talking about Yellow Flash's comic. So, Manga's an acquired taste in art. Better storytelling and lesser art, in my opinion. It is an acquired taste. You have to, because me myself, like, I don't collect manga. I collected a few books for the series, for the Indie Comics Outliers series. I got Handyman, which has some pretty interesting art, and I covered that in the Kajitomo Ichitomo stream. And there was also Sugui Project by I'm at a loss for words, but who's Sugui Project? That was I'm gonna get it. Ipatsu. That's who it was. It was Ipatsu. And Ipatsu's art defies the traditional manga because he's very detailed and he relies very little, if at all, on 3D assets and photo backgrounds. He does all of his own artwork and it's very meticulous. Ipatsu's like one of the rare mangaka who's very like superior, the superior level artwork and artist in my opinion. Preto says of the Batman comic here, the art isn't bad, but it's not my favorite of that artist. It's a stylistic choice, it seems like, right? Mazda Panda says, I try to be as forgiving as I can when it comes to the indies, at least, and their first story releases. Making comics is kind of hard, and I don't want to call everything trash right off the bat. Yeah, I personally try to be open. You know, I do. I don't want to call something trash unless I have an idea of what it's about, and then I'll determine if the art and the writing together make a superior product. Some CGs are high up, a little dismissive about writers. Yeah, there's definitely a you know, it's funny because a lot of artists will say the same thing about the writers, that the writers are dismissive about the artists and back and forth. And it's like, I guess I don't have to deal with that because I do both for myself. But it is a collaborative effort at the end of the day. So y'all need each other. Writers need artists, and artists need writers if you're making comic books or graphic novels. You definitely need each other. You know, it's funny about the manga thing because Lady Shadowband, we had a conversation, and she volunteered this info. She says that there's a reason why manga's kicking U.S. comics butts. It's like not many people, especially the younger generation, are talking about American comics or graphic novels. They're talking about manga. And it's our job as Western comic artists to look into why manga is popular and adapt it. Otherwise, we're just gonna be an extinct species. But I already am because I'm a colored. I'm a POC. Scroll down to skip some comments so I can catch up. Chief Judge Finity says less than 80% of CG books are poorly written. That is true, and I've backed my fair share of CG books, and only a couple have really held their own, I think. JV Salas says, yeah, I'm a manga guy. It's true that it's stylized, sometimes even a bit too much for me, One Piece, but I wouldn't call it bad. Oda draw is super dynamic. It just isn't to my taste. Yeah, I don't think manga art is bad at all. It's definitely a different style. It's influenced by its culture. It's different, by its ethnic culture for sure. So that alone makes it definitely worthy of studying and acknowledging its place in the comic art sphere. So, it's a weird take, isn't it, Joe? Like adults can actually disagree, not get into like this dirty disagreements and all that stuff, and just like get into like maliciousness. It's an odd thing, but it happens. It does happen once in a while. Arky says, I love comics because of the image boom. It was all style over substance, and Marvel and DC tried to jump in on the fad. Yeah, exactly. I thought that in high school. Like I was like, there's nothing about these comics that really interests me. I think I read one issue and I'm like, It took what it took the I guess you could say it took the B level material of the 80s and tried to make it into an A level thing in the 90s, and it just didn't work for me. But for a lot of people, it worked, and we're seeing its influence is still being had today in our sphere. So, okay, let's go down more. No, I did see that. It was just pointing out some what appears to be some very good looking comics as of late. But when we're talking about image, we're talking about the 90s image, the decade of the 90s when it started that boom of, as some have put it, style over substance. And we're seeing it in our space here. Shockingly enough. So, I was influenced of the art in the 90s that infused manga and anime into Western comics, changed the visual game. Yeah, and definitely was a game changer, and I think we're going to be seeing something soon to that extent here. At least I think we have to. We definitely have to. Let me see here. So yeah, don't say hi to Carol. You're just gonna encourage her bad behavior. Please don't. For Allah's sake, don't do. I mean, don't. Just don't. Just don't. Please don't. Yeah. So, I wish I had my water. I had water a few minutes ago, but I drank it all. So, Helmet says of all the CG books I backed, there may be one or two that were good. One of them was Dale's Fault, even though I hate JDA. Dale's Fault is I think a lot of people say that was his best book. Even those that didn't like him will say that was his best book. American Comics. Oh, this is an interesting take. American Comics can't do what manga does. They lost 2 generations of kids in a row. Only path forward is the French model of eventual obsolescence. I'm gonna look into that, but you know, we did miss the boat on latching on to the younger generation, and that's where the joke of how this space is about a bunch of middle-aged men making books for middle-aged men. Yeah, if you're just making books for that niche group, you're gonna die out. Your brand's gonna die out. It's a hard lesson for some creators, but that's just the reality of it. So going down now to the thread here. Of course, I shielded my stream. I can do that. Okay, making the text a little bigger. I would just show the only the screen, but I want to keep myself on panel so I can see if my audio is working. So, the average comic reader by Sculpey says cares about art way less than the nerds in this sphere. Amazing Spider-Man has some mid-tier art, but it's regular top 3 selling comic. Here's Joe Sontag. So this is where what caused me to jump into the thread, because and I get where he's coming from, but I felt like some things that I had to push back on. So here we go. So Joe says, I disagree with the statement. Story is always need for a good comic. I agree with that. Yes. However, comic books have always been a visual medium. No disagreement. Go back to the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. The art was fantastic in comics all around. Yes, some better than others, but the story and art went hand in hand in comics. It's what was expected. No disagreement. The 90s became more art first, and some stories suffered for it, but since the 90s, the art has been less and less, and story has been propped up. This works for most people that don't know any better. You can have good art with good story the way it is supposed to be, but most settle because they honestly have been conditioned to. See, this is my first disagreement, and it goes back to what Roy Thomas said, that it's the people that decide what books are good and what books get to be etched in time. That's my words, not his. But like I said, I wish I had the original article. But Roy said, I may not know what good art is, but I know what I like. And the market knows what it wants. It's the market that determines what books are successful or not. And we've had decades of successful IPs like Jim Davis's Garfield, or Charles Schultz's Peanuts, or Beetle Bailey, Calvin and Hobbes. Actually, in the DM group today, we had a very interesting conversation about Calvin and Hobbes, and it was a very telling, because it made me realize, a lot of us who are cartoonists, we were trained physically. We were trained in the classic arts, so if we wanted to draw like real life or still life, we can do it. I think cartooning is a choice for a lot of us, and for myself personally with Road Warrior Drake, it's a choice because it fits the aesthetics of the character and the charm of the character. I think if I gave Road Warrior Drake to a better artist, some of the comedic appeal would be gone. So I choose not to do that, and I made that point in my last stream, and why I don't think I'm ever going to give it over to another artist. But I have an artist in the woodworks that if something would ever happen to me, he would take over for Road Warrior Drake. Somebody better than me. but somebody that understands Drake, understands the importance of Drake being, you know, stylistic. But yeah, what the art? Yeah, artist for Calvin and Hobbes, Watterson, like he had a wide range of styles. Like, he didn't just stick with the cartoonish style. He could draw like a very dope looking dinosaur, very detailed dinosaur, and he did it for comedic effect in one of the Calvin and Hobbes strips, I should say. Why would kids want to read when they can play with Roblox and Angry Birds on their tablets? That's another factor too. But here's the thing: manga is best selling for a reason. So they can and do read. It's just what is it that's appealing to them? We're too busy being all edgelords and not appealing to the younger generation. Yep, you go to Barnes and Noble. I know some people say that nobody buys books at Barnes and Noble, but no, people buy books. I still buy books at Barnes and Noble. But you go to the manga section, and you'll get like 2 or 3 people at that particular section, which is like countless shelves. There's only one section dedicated to American comics and graphic novels, and almost nobody's there. And it's a very dreary section too. Like I go to that section, and I'm like, I feel the blandness of it all. So, Joe says the misunderstanding was me thinking the thread was talking about superhero books and the art, although I'd stand by my point it's very subjective in nature. I agree about the subjectiveness, and in some ways I can understand about the superhero aspect of it because, for example, I think about Superman, right? And to me, when I think about Superman in comics, I think about George Perez's Superman. Like, for me, that's like the nominal Superman in my mind is George Perez. The way he drew Superman to me is like probably the Superman in comics. And I feel like any design that kind of deviates from that, to me, doesn't feel like Superman. And I'm just speaking for myself. I'm not saying that that's a definitive statement. It's just, for myself personally, yeah, I mean, I can see that. I think about Batman, and Batman's style works. I think a lot of styles work with Batman, but it still has to have some kind of grittiness to it. Some kind of like, nothing too garish. Like, I feel like Bruce Timm's designs are probably as garish as one would allow Batman to be, because it still maintains the grittiness of the character. Mass Panda says, I agree, Last Man. I don't think I'd ever stop drawing my comic. It needs my style. But I definitely let someone else color it, and haha, I hate that phase. Or I do it all myself. And some people are like, are you nuts? But I'm like, I like creating it. Here's the thing, I like creating. I'm a creator. I like putting my book together. I like writing it. I like drawing it, inking it, and coloring it. I like doing it all. But it doesn't mean that I'm my best judge either. Like, if for me, I understand that the best possible version of your book is going to happen after you give it to a few eyes to look at it, and they tell you what you can do as far as revisions. And it's good to have a pair of eyes or two give you that feedback and take the feedback. Maybe not all the feedback, but take some of it. Drinking me some coffee right now. It's delicious. Nice and warm. Shout out to Lady Shadowman. Michael Bancroft says they don't even bother with the American graphic novel section in some bookstores now. Sad. Yeah, well, I mean, I blame the publishers. I blame the creators. We're not listening to the market. DWAC says I lost 3 subscribers this past week, 16 and 15 down to 6 and 12. So I'm probably just gonna give up now. Well, DWAC, I can tell you this. People were telling me that I was crazy for doing these indie comic outlier streams because nobody watches them. Nobody watches comic content on YouTube. That's what I've been told. And for the most part, it's true, because you go to like any one of our peers' streams when they talk comics, and they're lucky to get 10 viewers. But I took a chance on that because I don't want to get 80 viewers by people that don't like comics. So I'm not trying to be a YouTuber. See, that's the thing. I'm not trying to be a YouTuber. I'm trying to be a creator, a graphic novelist, a comic creator, a storyteller. YouTube is just a means to that end. It's not my main thing. So like, I don't want to get into the YouTube game of just, even though it's addictive, I don't want to get into that game of getting like, wanting to have like 80, 90 views at a time, live viewers, by peddling the lowest of the low, if you get my drift. I mean, once in a while I'll do, a little drama farming here or there, but it has its place. But I don't want to make it my main thing because I'm not a YouTuber. I came into this to help pitch a book and create an IP and a character and a universe and be a part of something. Doing YouTube was not something in my cards, but I knew it was important, but I didn't want to go to the lengths that some people apparently have to go to be successful with it. So, let me see. Scroll down here. Oh, look, an abuser's in the chat. Wait, is that my icon? You son of a bitch! You took my icon, didn't you? I'm taking your wrench away. You've abused me. That is a line too far you crossed, sir. You guys think I'm making up being oppressed and harassed? I'm not. Look, he stole my icon. He's violating trademark here and copyright. I'm gonna destroy his channel and he's gonna be gone for good. You guys didn't hear me say that though. Guy in his room says, honestly, the decline of American comic books is, in my opinion, all due to the poor writing, which is all due to the ideological activists taking over. Yeah, absolutely. It is the writing, 100%. Like you could forgive the art in some of these books if the writing was good, and it's not. Like the writing is terrible, very agenda driven, and very, I'll say it, very bigoted and anti-male, very misandrist. There's that word again. Yes, the American comic scene is plagued and diseased with misandry. Fight me on this one. You shut up, JD Kirby. You shut up. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to be nice and steal from me ever. You're done. You're absolutely done. Absolutely done. Guys says, I appreciate stylistic art, but for superhero comics, the fan base might expect more detailed artwork. It's like when metal bands change their sound and the fans flip out. Yeah, with superhero comics, that's an argument you can make when it comes to like art style, because, like you said, the market kind of expects it. And I use myself as an example. I bring up George Perez with Superman. Like that was to me like the nominal Superman, and then characters like Spawn and I mentioned Batman, of course, but I mentioned Spawn because Spawn is like a more indie character. But characters like that do depend on a more grittier style, not so much looser with the art, because it's part of what they are in terms of characters and the story that they're telling. But if you haven't noticed, the more popular comics aren't even superhero comics anymore. So, and comics hasn't always been about cape character. It hasn't been about the superheroes. They're a big part of it, but there's other characters, other stories to be told using the comic medium. So, but yeah, I think Joe, I think you and I agree about superhero comics having that dependency on the art style being a bit more realistic. I guess we'll say realistic. Disciplined. We'll say disciplined. I think. Why are you here? I have a stream. I host a stream. This is my YouTube channel. Can't tell me why I'm here. I'm allowed. Just because I'm in a sea of whites doesn't mean I'm not allowed. I'm very much allowed. Very much allowed. Joe says, everyone wants to talk about drama now. Comic talk is low viewership, unfortunately. It is, but I took a chance. And I think part of it, Joe, and I'm seeing some dividends with this, is the people that are talking about it, the hosts of the stream. You can't just fire up a stream and just put a mic in front of your face and just talk and blab whatever. At the end of the day, it's got to be entertaining. And this is why I allow the racists in the chat to spew their vitriol at me, because A, to document it for the eventual lawsuit, and B, because for some reason people find it entertaining for a chat to disparage their hosts. Because I'm the only one on YouTube that has a chat that's against him. The only one. Pure white supremacy, all of it. A guy in his room says, I'm actually not glad to see everyone here. Down with the D word. Well, boo to you. Boo to you. Yes, go ahead, do it. Do it. I do it. I hope you choke on that hashtag. I hope you do. You're looking forward to the 29th. You cannot take my avatar, JD Kirby, and pretend you're me. By the way, I am going to be at the CCon on the 29th of September in New Jersey, Seabright, New Jersey, from 10 to 4. I will be shilling that throughout the stream, so don't worry. Lord Rapper Jesus says, woo! The Ric Flair woo. Ric Flair woo. Oh, don't worry, guys. I documented it. It's been documented. I am not a victim bear. I am just documenting stuff. You guys bring your spear chucks at me, and I'm supposed to be quiet about it? I sound like Raptor's uncle. He has an uncle? Well, that's some shit. I had no clue. Helmet says, Western comics are kind of a nostalgic act, so why not embrace that and work into it? I have the fun of my life reading old-ass stuff like Tarzan, Prince Valiant, and Flash Gordon. You know how many people in my Discord, not my Discord, but in the Discord that I'm in, are talking about the Flash Gordon comics? Old classic sci-fi. I like the EC comics. I go back to the Vault of Horror, the Tales from the Crypt. Those are some great comics. I love the anthology stuff from the 50s and 60s. So I'm a big fan of Twilight Zone, Ultra Q, which of course inspired Ultraman and Ultra 7. All great shows. Let's see here. CG is plagued disease with I'm not reading that word, guys. I'm not getting struck by YouTube for that. Do not make me read that word. Can't do that. Can't do that. Let's see. Scroll down more. I want detailed art and comics with a great story. Again, though, referring to superhero books. Yeah. I don't disagree with that sentiment. I'm kind of the same when it comes to superhero stuff. Yeah, I'm in the same sentiment. But then here's the thing, though. Also, you look at a character like Hellboy, who is for all intents and purposes a superhero, and Mignola's artwork is kind of, some would say, crude and rough. Although I don't agree with that. He uses a certain style because Hellboy is a grimmer, horror-based setting about a superhero who happens to be the son of the devil. I think style can work in a superhero comic, but it has to work within that universe, and the universe itself has to be a sort of character. But yeah, I'm not going to disagree too much with this one. I think it's a sentiment that a lot of people would expect. Guy in the Jones, alas, Matt, women are throwing on a camera and just showing their bodies all the time. Guy in his room, I don't think you need me to tell you why that's different. I don't think you need me to tell you that at all.
Holy, breaking and entering! It's Batgirl!
Quick, Batgirl, untie us before it's too late.
It's already too late. I've worked for you a long time, and I'm paid less than Robin. Same job, same employer means equal pay for men and women.
No time for jokes, Batgirl.
It's no joke. It's the federal equal pay law.
Holy act of Congress!
If you're not getting equal pay, contact the Wage and Hour Division, U.S. Department of Labor.
Thank God for the archives. That's an awesome commercial. The fact that they actually paid the budget to do that is like, wow. Beautiful time in history. All right, let's go down here. Ron Coleman and Joel Santal going back and forth with their little banter. Although this banter is pretty good because it does lead to the line of the thread. Where is it? No, not that. That's degenerate. Not that one. Patsos replies with a gif of One Punch Man. Yes. Sheldon replies here. Lidl, who is a colorist for the cover of my book Beastess of Rotary Drake, she says, a great example too, referring to the gif by Patsos, aka Son of God. Great example too. One was already a popular comic web comic creator, even when OPM looked like this. Yeah, look, I did this stream on one, and we showed it. Like, he was already getting millions of hits and interaction from the community when he was doing webcomics for One Punch Man, and he was gonna stay in the industry, but he had to get a job because he had to pay his bills. But he definitely wanted to go back into it, and I covered all this with One because I found out there were some misconceptions about his presence the second time around in the industry after Murata took over the art for the older books. So we had to clear up some misconceptions about that. And Joe says, this is what I talked about on my show the other day. It's what makes indie books look cheap and amateur to a normal comic ready collector. Now, I'm going to take this comment and put it in the lens that he was simply referring to superhero comics. But then again, One Punch Man is a superhero. So, this is one of those cases where I would disagree with Joe on. Not too much on. But it's one of the rare cases I disagree with him on this one. Because One Punch Man is a superhero, and it's a stylistic choice. Now we go back and forth on comics like Peanuts and Garfield, but he clarified his stance, so I don't think I need to show this because he's referring simply to the superhero side of it. So fine, I can understand that point of view. Now Captain Cat makes an interesting statement here. He says comics are disposable entertainment. As long as they don't look like weird ass Tumblr fan art, most don't care. The image experiment failed. The only thing it proved was that artists needed writers and editors to release good comics on time. And of course, Student of God says, don't tell John Malin this. Oh, man. Woo, says Lord Raptor Jesus. But yeah, what have I said before? When they first started making comics, it wasn't meant to be collected or stored away in long boxes. It was meant to be disposed of. You buy it, you read it, and then you forget about it, and it gets lost in time. That was the original intent for comics. And in many cases, they still are that way. As a matter of fact, manga, like, if you buy manga, it's not really collectible. The only collectible manga that I would argue is Berserk because of the hardcovers. But outside of that, like, manga in general is not collectible. Actually, I think hardcover does make it collectible. To me, anyway, I love hardcovers. That's why I do hardcovers for my Road Warrior Drake books, because there's a prestige when it comes to the hardcovers. So let's see here. Okay. Joseph, I can't get into the art. It looks amateur, but that's coming from a worldview of superhero book comics, which is what I thought we were talking about. Yeah, no, I clarified it for you, so I get that. I understand that. And that's a more or less a that's more or less a popular sentiment when it comes to superhero stuff. But yeah, we're definitely talking like more range in comics, but it still baffles me though that people thought that this Batman comic that started this thread was bad. Like if the writing is critically acclaimed, then the artwork is what it is. It's, to me, it looks like it's going to be a good book. So I'm baffled by that. I've been considering learning how to dance a bit better. Those dance videos get tons of views and subs. They saw my self-insert dance comic. Zeitgeist says, can you say... I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. How dare you? Henry says, hell. Hey. Stop it. Henry says, hail, listen on my way home from Ultimate Frisbee. I started reading Road Warrior Drake. Thanks for sending. Oh, hell, you got it. Yes, people are getting their copies of Street Champion Road Warrior Drake. Those that backed it on the Fun My Comic and Indiegogo and the Kickstarter for the Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake campaign are getting their copies. I'm going to do a very quick show. They're getting the trade paperback of Street Champion Road Warrior Drake. And if you're a fan of the earlier Ninja Turtle style of the Eastman and Laird, you'll like this book a lot. And when you get Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake, the art style is slightly different. It's more evolved. It's more detailed. Because I took a lot of criticism. I would say like the average rating for this book from the community was like 6 out of 10. So I'll say an average 6 out of 10 people liked it. So 60%, which I consider to be a passing grade. And I took a lot of the advice and the criticism from the people that read it and who said ways they thought it could have been improved, while telling me what they liked about the book. The book had strengths. The book had weaknesses. They told me ways to enhance the strengths while fixing the weaknesses. And Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake is going to be addressing a lot of that. So you're going to get a back-to-back combo of a good saga with improving improving storytelling, both visually and in the writing. But yeah, this is definitely a good book to start with. And for all intents and purposes, I am proud of this book. I really am. I didn't think I could make it, but I did. And this is an example of pushing, grinding, and pardon me for being corny, but making your dreams come true. So I really look at this and I say, I did it. I did it, and I'm glad it's getting in people's hands, and I hope you enjoy it. Well, Red says 6 of the likes are the D word. The other 4 were Haitians. Oh, no. Yes. Deport them. Otherwise, you can't read Beast Citizen books. I'm in agreement with that. I am not that familiar with manga. Is Berserk maybe the most detailed manga? My son is a big Berserk fan. He loves Berserk. So I haven't looked. I looked at some of the artwork and it's pretty good. I think for me, I was in the most too much noises here. I was in the most detailed artwork in a manga would be in Ipatsu's Sugumi Project, because if you look at my stream on Sugumi Project and Ipatsu, you'll see how detailed his artwork is in that. But that's just me. So let's see. Okay. Carol doing the evil emojis. Are all dogs bisexual? They tend to hump anything. Thank God I'm not monetized. Otherwise, I lose money reading that comment. Excuse me. Scroll down. No World War Pogs, and then there never will be. I'm not putting Pogs in my character's name. Do you really hate me that much, Helmet? You really despise me? Oh, Angela's in the chat. Hail you, Angela. Hail to Angela. I let people read my Reaper Destroyer, and those that gave bad feedback, I gave them a picture of their house. Why do you show me my house that said... Well, they said they have to figure out... Oh, wait. Well, I gave them a picture of their house. Why do they show me my house? Well, they have to figure that out on their own. I don't understand that. I don't get it. Anyway, so let's see here. Scroll down more. So, not every artist is John Byrne. You know, an actual professional artist and writer that did great work and released them on time. Skullface says that's a high bar to reach. And of course, JD Kirby issuing threats to Bat Sauce. He says, one last thing, when you put something as meaningful as this out here, proofread it first because what you wrote was very intelligent. However, Grammatical was like, JD Kirby, you're a threat to his community. I am not reading this. But I show it because I want to document the terror of what you do. Thinking Critical says, I personally like Dustin Nguyen art, though that's not his typical style these days. Yeah, someone else in the chat said that too. So, let's see here. I like to think I've got a normie sensibility of art. Okay, John Douglas. To me, as long as it's functional, delivers the story well, and isn't flat out ugly, then it's fine. Great art is great, but I don't need to be 1910 mind-blowing to enjoy a comic. What have I been saying before, guys? If you've been following me on these streams, I've been saying mid-art can save great writing, or good writing can save mid-art. And as long as the art serves a story, you have a very superior comic. J99 says, hello, my good friend Elasmet. Well, hello, J99. Hello there. All right. Scroll down to the chat. I'm getting better at catching up with the chat. There were times when I would be half an hour behind and my mic would go out and I wouldn't know for 10 minutes. It was disastrous. Andrea Curry says she's looking forward to Reaper Destroyer. Yeah. D-Wax says, Rich Ayala was showing off his collection of Akira books on stream, and I remember looking them up, and they were pretty expensive, but I'm also poor. Yeah, Akira is one of the more prestigious mangas, so for sure. Let's see, scroll down here. Yeah, also, excuse me, I made more than 99 cents doing nothing today. That is a foreign concept to us Pox, so you'll have to interpret that for me, sir, because I don't speak white. Please interpret it for me. Anyway, scrolling down more. Look what Ricky M says. Holy crap. This guy says exactly what I've been saying to a T. That's why I liked it. He says, a great story can save bad art, but great art can't save a bad story. That's what I've exactly been saying the last few months. He said it too. It's catching on. These streams I'm doing, they're catching on. Let me drink my coffee for a second. Hold on. And by the way, what I said about my book being generally well received and like getting like an average of 6 out of 10, even Ethan Van Sciver himself liked the book, and I gave him a copy of the book for free. I didn't expect to promote it or anything. I just wanted him to have it. But yeah, he volunteered this.
It looks like a cool Disney character, Road Warrior Drake. I have the book. I read some of it. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I like Azamat. I like him.
Yeah, I like him as a person. I wasn't sure about his comics, but his comics are really good. They're fun to read.
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
You want more Adventures of the Street Champion? Check out RoadWarriorDrake.com. You know you want to.
And those of you that backed it in getting your books this week, hail. I hope you enjoy it. I want feedback. Give me feedback. I welcome it because it may help me with making the Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake even tighter. So please, feedback is welcome. Let's see. This SEE Dynasty says, secret project almost done. Finishing touches now. I have no clue what that's about, but it's probably gay. Guidance says, yes, I like Azamat. No, very few people call me by my name correctly. So I've given up on correcting people. So Azamat, Alice Matt. I think I prefer Azmat over Alice Matt. At least Azmat is somewhat masculine. Alice Matt, it sounds like Alice Matt. Let's see. Phil and Summer's in the chat. Hello, Phil and Summer. Welcome, and yes, encouraging one of our own in the chat here. But yes, I've been saying this for a long time. Great story can save bad art, but great art can't save a bad story. I've been saying that, and a lot of people are starting to agree with that, and they're starting to understand that. So hail. So that made me feel good right there. JD Kirby with terroristic threats of fine journalism, of course. But then this Frederick Goodman guy came in here, and this is kind of where it slightly went off the rails. He said, you should delete this post. Being this ignorant on art while proudly making this threat and being wrong about every single point is embarrassing. Actually, I'm reading it in the wrong voice. Let me change my voice and give him the voice he deserves. Let me give Frederick Goodman the voice he deserves. Here we go. You should delete this post. Being this ignorant on art while proudly making the threat and being wrong about every single point is embarrassing. It undermines your entire existence as a shit-posting ballwasher for the Rippaverse when your retardation is so blatantly on display, girlfriend. I added that last part, but yeah, so and there are a lot of people that think like that. Alamza hat. Alamza hat. Oh, I like that. Alamza hat. I think Alamza hat is better than Asmad. Yes, I think it is better than Asmad. So Alamza hat. I'm gonna go for that. How could Frederick leave that comment on 9/11? Oh, I don't. I don't know. Twitter is a beautiful, magical place. What can I tell you? It's a wonderful place. It's a fairy tale place. Why don't people act so high and mighty on social media? So offended. Everybody's pretty offended, Masterpan. You didn't know that? Once you go on Twitter, X, you're massively offended. That's just the thing. It's a race now. You're not black. You're not white. You're just massively offended. That's new ethnicity. But more of I'm not reading that, Bear. Stop it. You're supposed to encourage me, not suggest things that's going to get me struck. I think his argument was pretty fair. TBH, says DWAG. And Phil Simmons says perpetual butthurt on social media. Yes, very perpetually butthurt. But then I said it jokingly, by the way, so nobody take me seriously on X, but I said you should read what Roy Thomas, former editor-in-chief of Marvel, had to say about the perception of art and what the market dictates. If you think Student of God's post bothered you, Thomas's point will make you seppuku. Yeah, Thomas was direct and on point with his view of how art is viewed in the comic industry, and who determines what books are good. Now, Daniel P. Riley says a pretty interesting statement. He says, normies don't care unless it's truly awful. There's a threshold most industry professionals know. Nerds shouldn't care because it's a waste of damn time, but we'll care because it's fun to bitch about things. At the end of the day, the only important number is how many sold. Pretty base statement. That is very true. So it's a matter of how many books are sold, and who determines that? The buyers. Not the creators. The buyers determine that. Because they're the ones that tell you what they like. Call the Jet says, I believe you're correct. If it's got middling art but a good story, I'll still enjoy a book. If it's got a middling story but great art, I'll still likely enjoy the book, but I probably won't buy the sequel. Garrett says, when I first started reading as a kid, I didn't care that much. As time went on, I noticed some comics had significantly better art than others, and when they had to fill an artist, it was jarring. Yes, I've heard that from a lot of people. Like, when you have a series that's run by a specific artist, and then it changes art midway, or artist midway, the effect is noticeable and it does affect the person's enjoyment of the book. So there's some legitimacy here when he says that. Sir Rubinstein says, art is good only for hype and promotion. It can assist to carry the comic into the world, like how Steve Ditko illustrated Stan Lee's direction. But I will ask, what guided that art to look like what was shown before the superstar artist was a thing? Yes, the writing, aka the story. So, good story can save bad art. I say mid art, but some people will say bad art. So the point is, there's more than one people saying it now. So that's the thinking by a lot of people in the market, and why sometimes it's better to just put the book out and hope the story picks up than just spend years trying to perfect the art and the writing is just mid-tier at best. Irish Not Sane says, as a normie who got into this because of Eric, I find both art and story are required, though story is way more important than arts. I slightly disagree. Story is important, but it's a comic book. It's a visual medium, so the art must. Because here's the thing. You want to be able to understand the story visually, and the writing should complement, or the art should complement the writing, or vice versa. The point is that both need each other for the book to be good. So I'm not really a promoter saying one is better than the other. They both need each other. Case in point, and I'm gonna just come on and say it. Like, I think it's pretty well accepted that Godlike by John Malin had beautiful art and a very shit writing. It was not good writing at all. And had that book had better writing, it probably would have been one of the best books in our space, because the art was so good, but it was betrayed by the writing. So you need both. Both have to be good, and what determines good is the story overall, as I've always argued. Jonathan Giamacco, he's like, this is bad art? Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see how this is considered bad art. I wouldn't describe this as bad, more of okay. I am not in any way artistically inclined or a writer myself. In my opinion, the art sets the tone and creates a mood, but the writing lasts with you. I collect manga as well as a massive comic collection started in 1991. So, speaking of, as a young person of the 90s, it looks good on the surface, that's all that matters. Plus, if the story is good, you can look past the art. So you get more of that sentiment, see? Lesser art on manga, let's be honest. Many new comics art are lacking and story is garbage, but you said this was recommended okay by who? Critics, no one cares what they say. It's word of mouth by friends and normal buyers that matter. Kingswest says this interior art is more of a style as opposed to bad art. That's what I think too. I see it and I'm like, yeah, this is... Because the first person that came to mind was Mike Mignola's artwork for Hellboy. Some of the panels had that same style. It follows basic rules of comic art cartooning. Some of the form is flat, but that can be attributed to the style. Yeah, I agree with that. The fact that it contains certain key points of technique insinuates the artist is making style choices. Yeah, exactly. Style tends to deviate from realism or detail. And that's a mistake a lot of people, especially creators, make when they judge a book. And by the way, note to the creators out there, we all have our opinions on other books, but don't get too pushy with it, because the market doesn't take kindly to other creators not staying in their lane, like Todd McFarlane says. If you're a creator, stay in your lane. We need to drill that hard in other creators. Josh Infinity says, I tried converting my comic to a script, but it does need the artwork. Absolutely. It definitely needs the artwork. Betrayal in comics? I've not seen that before. Says Phil and Samo. J.B. Styler says, Malin not only left enough space for word balloons, he left several pages blank for more exposition. That book needed an editor for real, like a serious editor. Like I said, to me, his beautiful artwork was betrayed by the writing. And that book is an example of a book that is not good despite having very good looking artwork. Armored Saint says, I have to disagree, I think. Comics are a visual medium. If a reader wants a good story and cares less about art, buy a novel. I think what you're witnessing now is a change in what is considered good Tumblr fans have taken over comics. Good equals Nord, Del Toro, etc. Well, yeah, this is pretty good art right here. It's very good art. But I think we can agree, for the most part, that Cal art style, Tumblr style, it might work for a very simplistic story, but in most cases, it's very visually unappealing because it's way too simple to a point where it's formless. See, there's simplicity, but if you have a form in that simplicity, then you have something that can be argued as artistic. Case in point, Scott McCloud, his book The Sculptor, simplistic art, but it had a form to it that made it very artistic, and that style, especially the coloring, inspired me to do the style of coloring and when the design choices that I'm doing for Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake. I very much love what I'm doing with that book and how it's coming across. So, speaking of which, let me just quickly show a quick panel from the book. Here's a panel from Beast Citizen Road Warrior. I just drew this yesterday. I drew this, I colored it, I lettered it. I don't want to show the whole page because I don't want to give away the details of the book. But yeah, I definitely mature as an artist, and you're really gonna love this book. If you back Street Champion Road Warrior Drake, you're gonna love Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake. If you like Street Champion, you're gonna love Beast Citizen. DWAC says, I typed like a whole paragraph, maybe even two in the Secret DM group that definitely solves this whole debate. He solved the debate. Guy in his room says, manga sells a shit ton, so there's really no debate. You can value art over story, but consumers don't. This is the point Roy Thomas made, Guy in his room. This is why I wish I could find that article by Roy Thomas. But he makes this point. It's the market knows what it wants. He says, I may not know what good art is, but I know what I like. And he sang the praises of Carl Barks, the artist and writer for the Donald Duck and Scrooge McDuck comics from the 40s. And I read some of those, and I had one of the hardcover collected volumes of Donald Duck Volume 1. And yeah, it is a very superior book. Very superior. Roy Thomas is, I'm not Roy Thomas, Carl Barks is definitely superior as a creator. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And if people think there's a doubt about it. Wait, did I find it? Let me make sure. I think I found it. Hold on. I may have found it. Let me see. Yes, let me check. If I found it, then yes, we're going to read this. I guess I did not. Hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe I did. Let's see here. Hold on. I'm looking at an interview he did with Alex Brand. I'm trying to see if it's in here. Let's see here. Damn, I have to. Let's see here. Give me a second, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just checking. I'll check fast. Okay, let's see here. Yes, there's some gold in this interview that I'm seeing here. Let's see here. Okay, this is probably not it, so I'll keep searching for it. I will keep searching for it. You didn't use those blue tones in the original Street Champion, did you? I haven't over my copy. So Street Champion has a different style. Let me show you. So since you asked, let me show you. It's a black and white style for Street Champion Road Warrior Drake. So, I used I'm saying just regular black and white with some shades of gray in there. And I decided, like, for this book, because Beast Citizen is a bit more of a grander story. So in Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake, there's going to be more stakes. There's things get taken up a notch in terms of not just stakes, but like certain changes in characters' lives. So I wanted the art to reflect that and to show the growth and the evolution of that. So I would say Street Champion evokes more of the older Eastman and Laird Ninja Turtle comics. Um, as an example. So, but yeah, this is a page from B Citizen Road Warrior Drake. So, just to show you exactly what I've been up to. Okay, so getting back to this, here we go. So, Brian Nichols says, from a 90s perspective, I always thought DC's Vertigo imprint was the opposite of Image Comics, where Image boasts some of the best art in the business. I don't agree with that. Okay, yeah, I definitely don't agree with that, but that's anyway. Vertigo put out books that really blew my mind, and they did a lot of them with some very substandard art. Love both quality. Well, let me take it back. I thought Savage Dragon had decent art, and I thought it had some pretty good art. So I think Savage Dragon may be one of the only ones out of Image that I thought had some very good art. But even then, like, I don't think it was the best art in the business. That's I totally don't agree with that statement. But yeah, he's making the point that Vertigo had some very substandard art, but we're still pulling out quality stuff. So it's really just understanding the importance of both writing and the art, and knowing when style comes into play, and how style applies in the conversation about art and comics. So let me finish my coffee here. So we've had a pretty good outpouring here in our live viewers. I think you guys have been very active, so I appreciate that, and some interesting conversations in the chat as well as what we're showing here in this thread. But man, oh man, it just made me appreciate what I'm doing even more, and the work that I'm putting into my book, and as well as the work that a lot of people are putting into their stuff too. A lot of honest creators. Let me emphasize that, because I think that we are not getting the exposure. Okay, let's put that, the exposure. We're not getting the exposure that we would like to have because of the damage that's been done to the indie scene, because of, yeah, I'll say it, because of the late books, because of the behavior of creators in the sphere, the parasocial stuff. And I talk about the parasocial nature of comics when I talked about the mangaka, like Ipatsu and Kazutomo Ichitomo. Those guys are, for all intents and purposes, they were very introverted with the community. Like, they would put their artwork online for people to see, but then they would pull away, and they wouldn't interact with people. They wouldn't go back and forth on conversations, which would then lead to arguments or what have you. They just put the artwork on display and just like fade to black. And I think that had more to do with their success than anything, because it became less about them and more about their creations, their characters, and then as a result of them being in the background, as a result of them being in their own little exile, it's made them a bit more fascinating to a lot of fans, and it adds a little lore to their creations. So codename Phil, and with one L. Woo! Shout out to XL Phil. Tuexophil. That sounds like a character. Tuexophil. So, Bear says, seems to be more about the drama in Super Chats at the moment. Yeah, and again, I it goes back to me saying I'm not a YouTuber. I don't want this to be the main thing I do. I don't want to go and EFAP other people's shit. I mean, I'll go to other channels that they do, and maybe I'll hang out there, and once in a while I'll do it, but not on my channel, because I don't want to go back and forth with people. I don't want my characters or anything associated with create to be connected to like childish banter and stupid ISB, internet blood sports. I want nothing to do with that. I really don't. So much so that if I say something and people want to EFAP it, I'm not gonna go back and forth with them. Like, have the last word, pal. Enjoy the last word. I give you the last word. You may reply. You realize that when I say that to people on Twitter, every time I go into a back and forth with someone on Twitter and I reply to them, You may have the last word. Reply. They never do. It's almost like it's a natural deterrent. And as well as it should be, because I really don't like going back and forth with people. It's a waste of time, and I just don't want my own negative behavior attached to my creations, my character, my creations. So, guidance was ironically, Evie has literally said that before about him not being a YouTuber. Well, I have the benefit of hindsight, and I have the benefit of seeing established precedents, and I know that it's not for me. So I don't go about this with some naive sense of hope and expectation. I go about this with realism and understanding what could happen if I choose that route. And it's not fun. It's not a fun route. I don't want to do that. So it ain't going to happen. But I appreciate that. Because I may poke fun at the last map, but I much prefer these streams. I found CG hoping for a good alternative and was honestly disappointed. I came into the circle there back in August of 2018 thinking the same thing, that it was an alternative. It was going to be a fun movement, a change, and a bunch of us inspiring each other to make something good and give the customers and the fans and the market alternatives and something new they can purchase. That hasn't been the case. And we had, for all intents and purposes, take away their flaws, we had more or less some well-rounded men back in the day in our streams. And look what they got replaced by. Look what they got replaced by. You gonna tell me that's a successful transition? I call it a failure. It was a failure. It has failed. And the only reason why I haven't completely renounced it is because there are still some good customers and people in the movement that still claim that label. So for them, I don't want to denounce them. I do not. That's why I cling on to it. But I'm barely clinging on by a hair. So I was expecting there to be more disagreements and some people fighting from the stream. Came from violence, stayed for the cool peoples. You'd be surprised, you Wag. I know how to diffuse, and I also know how to listen too. Like I disagree with Joe Santog on his points in the thread, but you see how he was here clearing up his points and clarifying it, and I'm like, okay, I see where you're coming from. And it's like, okay, well, there you go. There's no bloodshed because it's just a bunch of men just hashing it out and being clear on their points, and there's not much disagreement. So, and the point is I'm not here to be right. I'm just here to make clarifications on the history of the indie underground comics movements in America, in Europe. I want to do more of the French stuff because France seems to have, well, I guess you take away what's happening in Paris, but for the most part, France's comic scene seems to be pretty healthy. And they have a very interesting movement there, assuming that the third world immigrants can read comics, but if they want to, I'll press X to down that one. I'm getting too political. Let me not go there. But yeah, otherwise, I feel like there needs to be more conversation about that because in CG and in other spaces like CG, there's a very short-sighted awareness of that part of comic history. And it's every bit as significant as DC and Marvel has been. Every bit. I would even argue a bit more. Hey, Lazarus, do you use any program for setting up your pages, like plugging your script or dialogue into the correct panels, page, etc.? I'm looking into that to make my process easier. So I use Clip Studio Paint, and Clip Studio Paint is a drawing app made by a comic creator for comic creators. So it's really just a matter of where you want to place your letters in the panels. It's all design. See, it's not just drawing. When you make a panel, you're not drawing it, you're designing it. So that to me also includes where you place the letters in that panel. So for example, if you believe you're going to put the word bubbles in the upper left of a panel, leave enough space there so you can put the word balloon there. And also consider that if you put enough words on a panel, on a bubble, but it might be too tight or it looks too wordy, consider just shortening it down and rewording it so that it gets to the point. I've done that a couple times with my book. Some places where the dialogue seemed pretty good, but I feel like it was too wordy, or interfere with the art, I would just have to shorten it down, just so the art wouldn't be sacrificed, and I'd still have enough space for the word balloon to make a difference. I designed the panel with the word balloon in mind because to me the word balloon is a part of that artwork. So, but yeah, that's what I use, Clip Studio Paint. A lot of creators use Clip Studio Paint, and it has a lot of options for word balloons. KSS says, "You may have the last word. I always give a great artist such as yourself, Louise." Don't call me that, KSS. You didn't even wish me happy birthday. You came in here throwing spear chucks at me, and you didn't wish me happy birthday. You freaking racist. You can find traditional medicinal. Oh, this is all medical stuff in the chat. Yes, I know. Okay. Bear says I popped in late 2019. JV Styler says, problem I have is the ones that complain about those pesky YouTubers are streaming to 5 to 20 hours themselves, not exclusively EBS. No, there's a lot of them that are streaming for hours and hours. I know. And when I stream, I do want to make my streams to be either substantial or artistic, but it has some kind of value that you can watch it over again. And I think these streams are starting to fill that void with me, and it's getting people talking. You read the thread. I showed you the thread. I read you some of the comments in that thread. People are echoing the points I'm making in these streams. It's the conversation is out there. It's absolutely out there now. People are now starting to talk about it because now that we're getting a lot of these CG books, it's like, wait a minute, this isn't exactly setting the world on fire. It's not even lighting matches, these books. Okay, I'm in Atlanta. There's got to be some kind of specialized shop. More medical talk. I can't believe I'm highlighting this stuff. You guys are hijacking this chat. So, let's see here. Okay. Fiona, she also got Street Champion Road Warrior Drake. So hail. I'm glad that people are getting their books. It's exciting. And it lays the anticipation for the upcoming Beast Citizen Road Warrior Drake. KSS says, are you going to do something on Jean-Claude Forest, the Barbarella creator? I'll look into him. I'll see. Because a lot of these indie creators, there's some of these indie creators that you guys recommend, have some very industry standard art that's like, wouldn't consider them outliers. I would consider them the standard, which is a good thing. That just means that they're very good. But I tend to outline creators that are more like, as you saw the thread we showed, that wouldn't be considered the standard. That would be considered below standard. I don't consider them below standard, but the perception that they are below standard, so I highlight those creators. So I'll look into him out and I'll see if that stuff is good. But I think I remember it being very good. So I don't know if it would be content for the stream, but I'll look into it. I'll definitely look into it. Joe says, good stream, gotta go sub. Hail Joe, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the conversation. Go sub to Joe M. Soundtalk's YouTube and his Twitter as well. I think he won the Indie Cockfight on Dark Gift stream a couple weeks back. I believe he did. I don't remember. I didn't watch it. Not that I didn't want to. I just got busy with stuff and I didn't get a chance to watch it. And normally when I'm busy, I'll leave a stream playing in the background, but I didn't get the chance to do that there. So Massive Panda says, I've basically just been going from Microsoft Word straight to thumbnails. There's too much back and forth with that process. I might get Clip Studio and do your technique. Yeah, like I said, Clip Studio was made for a comic artist by a comic artist. And yeah, going back and forth from Microsoft Word to whatever art program you're using, it can get annoying. You could do all of that in one app with Clip Studio. And Clip Studio is still cheap. It's a one-time payment and it's yours for life. So you buy it, pay it, very cheap. Keep that key number and it's yours for life. I bought my Clip Studio 5 years ago. Still using it and it still does me wonders. So shout out to the third-party programmers out there giving us freeware or apps that are not expensive and doing the job of the more expensive apps. If you guys can recommend a good Adobe Premiere sub, let me know, because I don't know if I want to pay that $200 next year just to rent out the program. I'd rather just have something that I can download. So I'm open to recommendations. Lord Raptor is saying, Woo! Mado Shigama Mashiga Mahao Oregano. JV Styler says, something to talk about. I think even without the drama, a lot of streams felt like doing your chores to keep up with campaign progress. You know what it is? We've been told in order to build our audience, we got to go on stream and pile up that live stream. Go on YouTube and do that and build our audience that way. But a lot of these creators are not YouTubers. They're not meant to go in front of a camera or on a mic and entertain people for an hour or two. They just talk and talk. And it gets very, very, how do you say, boring. I listen to, and I want to support the indie content creators. I do want to help them build, and I try to interact, I try to do the thing, but sometimes they just bore me. They don't want to listen. The thing is, they don't want to listen. I can't tell you how many content creators who have YouTube channels that are starting live streams don't listen when I give advice about how to make it better, how to grow their audience so that they have people on their side that can help buy books and help fund other comic creators. They don't listen. They're stuck in their ways. To me, it's like a lost cause. So I don't deal with certain people because of that. Lord Raptor's driving at the moment, folks, so give him a shout out. Ping him. Well, no, because I don't want him to get into a wreck, but just saying. So let's see here. Scrolling down the chat. JV Salah says, live streams are bad for growth. Evergreen content or topical stuff always was the way to go. It's not, live streams are for growth. The short form videos are for growth. Live streams are more for interacting with the people, the subs in your channel. Although what's funny is that I gained about 300 subs in the last few months, but I haven't seen that growth in my live stream live views. So it's weird how YouTube operates in that. A lot of that at least entertains me by finishing his steak and his hamburger, not like that dark grift. That's right, I eat my meat. I absorb my protein. Unlike grift. Absolutely. Holy smack, I caught up with the chat. How did that happen? How did I catch up with the chat? Well, I did it. I caught up with the chat. And no mic issues. No mic issues. So that's good. I escaped with no mic issues. And it's 9:43. But let me drink my water. So yeah, plug in. Let me plug. Let me plug in my appearance at the CCon. Sunday, September 29th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sea Bright Recreation Center, 1167 Ocean Avenue, next to Donovan's at Sea Bright, New Jersey. It is about 45 minutes away from New York City, about an hour and a half from where I'm at in Pennsylvania. Just to give you an idea of where it's at geographically. I'll be there along with Dark Gift. We're going to have a lot of books to sell. I have some tchotchke to sell, so if you want to buy some tchotchke, by all means. But I do have various copies of Street Champion Road Warrior Drake in the hardcover, trade paperback, manga. I also have about 3 or 4 copies of the Ash Can from the first campaign, which is not going to be reprinted, so that's going to be a collector's item. So, yes, I'm going to have plenty of books to sell, so please. That's why it was important for me to deliver these copies first to the backers of Fund My Comic and Indiegogo and Kickstarter, because, and crowdfunder too, because I did a small campaign in crowdfunder. But I wanted to get you those books first, so that way when I did the convention, I took care of my backers first. So, and I think that's the way to go. I think a lot of people agree that's the way to go. Absolutely. Someone here made a good point here. Bear says, "Oh, did he order from the kids menu?" That's referring to Dark. I think you're referring to Dark Gift, and his little tiny hamburger that he ordered from the kids menu. Well, no, he didn't order a kids menu hamburger, but he's an adult. He should know better. So. KSS says, "Do you, Elasma, enjoy? Oh no, Elasma and DG will enjoy a nice meal after CCon. What shall it be? Pizza, tacos, Chinese? It'll probably be hamburgers because I want to see him try to weasel his way out of that one too. So for sure. Do I have that stupid stream will start after this song banner happening again? I keep forgetting to take it off. I'm such a boomer. Such an effing boomer. Jolly Green says, allows one eats free when he brings a paying adult. And what's wrong with that, Jolly Green? What's wrong with that? I'm allowed. I can do that. That is the reparations that I'm owed. I'm owed that. Lady Shadowban says tacos, to which KSS replies, yes. Q. Just like the UK spelling, though, that's the line. That's for a line of people. So much victimhood. No, I am not a victim. I am a warrior, Bear. I'm a warrior that has sustained y'all spear chucks. I've sustained it, and I'm stronger as a result of it. My ancestors empower me. Your words have no effect on me because my ancestors empower me. Their spirit dwells in me, and I rise, and I'm a warrior. A beautiful warrior who makes good Be Citizen books like Street Champion Road Warrior Drake and Be Citizen Road Warrior Drake. So, God, I love keeping those images. It's a great way to promote. And it's visually good, too. I'm a strong, independent Pac. That's right, Massive Panda. I am strong, independent Pac. I am roaring. I roar. When I roar, you people better watch out because ears will bleed. They absolutely will bleed. You don't believe me? Here you go.
Yeah.
So independent. So strong. Henry's doing his brack, he says, and he's getting dinner ready. He's also backed the book, and he's got a copy of Street Champion Road Warrior Drake with him as well. So I'm happy to hear that. A pillar of the community. I am. I'm important. And very significant. You have to cherish me, because if not, I'm gone, and I'll be extinct. I'm rare, so protect me. D-Wax says, I was dying until I turned 14, 15 years old. I'd get a beating if my dad had to pay for my buffet. Damn. See, that's victimhood right there. That's victimhood right there. Nobody should get their ass beat at a buffet. Ever. Ever. That's right, Bear. Roar. Roar. That does sound like it. 100% sounds like it. I think so, anyway. Yes, I'm reading some of the comments in the chat about the crisis in Ohio right now with the Haitians and eating pets. I get it. It's I don't know what's worse, that or the fact that landlords are being paid 3 times the amount of rent by the government to kick out residents just to bring in these people. I'm getting political. Let me stop. Let me stop right there. I must not get political. D-Wax says beatings aren't so bad when you get used to them. It does harden you. That is true. It does harden you. Bear says, wait, does the last man eat? No, I don't do that. I eat cows. I eat fish. I rarely eat fish, but I eat cows and chickens. Those are my main sources of protein. Oh, and peanut butter too. But that's about it. We have an update in the chat. Henry says, one of my kids drank the rest of my delicious raspberry Izzy. Well, that sucks. Maybe you should beat them. Take them to a buffet and beat them, because that's the thing to do, because that's what D-Wax says, so. Okay, I have to say I kid, because maybe we'll take offense to that. I kid. Don't beat your kids. Just laugh at it. But, yeah, there's Phil on someone's YouTube, if you haven't already. Subscribe. Oh, wait, that's, wait, who's... Oh, it's Hen. Why are you promoting Hen's channel on my chat, Kaya says? She's a witch, and she's divided the community. How dare you promote Hen? With badge talk. I blame Lord Raptor Jesus because he brought Hen into our community. Lord Raptor. You brought that witchcraft into our community. I'll never forgive you. Ever. No, don't laugh, Bear. That was a public service announcement. I'm trying to warn the community. See, yeah, this is your doing. You got people promoting a channel on my stream now. And she's not even here. That's the thing. She's not even here. And look at what you brought. You brought this famine, this plague into my chat. I didn't bring shit. You brought this plague. And you got to fix it. Bear says, wait, I thought you were inclusive. I am inclusive. I include everybody. Everybody must pay their reparations to me and protect me because I'm rare. So I include everybody in their protection of me and their cherishment of me. It's just the next step to the demolition man society. Those Asians just want to wear and can afford Pizza Hut, Taco Bell. Like I said, I don't want to get too political. I get we're in that season, but we can do all that on Twitter. So, or on someone's stream if they want to talk about that. But I'm trying to discipline myself and not do it here. Because we're all here for comic talking, graphic novel talking, manga talking, all that other nerd shit just to escape from the ills of society. Why are you posting bad news in the chat, Lady Shadowban? Oh, you're bringing on the mood. No. Okay, here we go. Yes, Henry Thune. Yes, I will offset the witch talk with this. If you want to counter witches, visit his Bible channel. He's been doing readings of the Bible, like he's doing chapters every day. So check it out. Go check out some good scripture reading on Henry Thune's channel. Phil and Selma says, Gallows humor is great. I find myself joking about being a gentleman to dead girls when I'm feeling the vibe. Well, I guess dead girls can't run away and they can't me too you, so I guess there's something there. I ain't gonna hate on that. So many comments about stuff I don't want to highlight. So, okay, that must be the cue for me to end the stream. But we took it as far as we could. We've gone an hour and 52 minutes in, so I appreciate that. We've done good. I say as long as it's 2 hours or less, we have content for a stream with good replay value and a lot to learn. I just really wish I could find that Roy Thomas article. I'm here for the comics and nerd drama. Yes, there was plenty of nerd drama, but it was settled, so nobody bled or anything. It was pretty decent. Kidson says, "Oh, he's talking about that's other stuff." Let me not go into that. Highlight this as Carol. Oh, I'm documenting everything you're doing, Carol. Don't worry, you're getting documented. So when we go to the magistrate, he's gonna know I ain't bullshitting because I got all the receipts. All the receipts. Barry says, "Thanks for the stream. Everyone have a good night." Okay, I have to find that Roy Thomas article. Before I leave the stream, I'm going to find that article. Let me see if I can find it. I got to find it. Let me check here. Maybe somebody added it me in. You know what's funny? I had it in my bookmarks. I don't know if I still do. Let's see. Because I know it was Alls on the Farm who shared it. Let me see if I type it on the Twitter search engine. If it's there. Let's see here. Maybe if I did Roy Thomas in quotations. Oh yes, I found it. Okay, good. I had to show this in the stream, so I found it. Here we go. As you guys type your racism in the chat, I'll read your racism. I'm definitely gonna read y'all's racism. So don't worry, it's getting read. But okay, so this is how I'm gonna end the stream with this. And I showed this in one of my earlier streams, but I'll show it again here. Roy Thomas, Marvel editor-in-chief. The interviewer Gustafsson says, "You don't mean throwaway negatively?" Thomas says, "Not really, but as Sturgeon says." This is the Marvel editor-in-chief. 90% of everything is crap, including Sturgeon's own work. Though Sturgeon's crap, it must be said, would be on a higher level than most. Most comic art, like most science fiction, and indeed most of what passes for culture in our civilization, is really only sociological, not artistic interest. I admire Jack Kirby and John Buscema and Neil Adams and Bernie Wrightson and Rich Corman and all the rest, but it's still really just commercial art. And it's about as inappropriate to talk about such stuff, art as it is to wax poetic over the art in an ad for a Subaru. That doesn't mean there aren't a lot of truly talented people in the field, but the field itself wasn't really allowed for art and shouldn't. Art is what people come along later and tell you have created, not what you proudly announce to the world as definitive this or the ultimate that. That's a strong statement by Roy. He's saying that basically what he's saying here is you don't get to call yourself an artist and you don't get to say your stuff is artistic. The people that like your stuff are the ones that have the authority to tell you that. All that is hype, and Stan Lee certainly hasn't got any monopoly on that in America today. No, indeed. Gustafsson says, yet you have paintings by Frank Frazetta and Carl Barks and others hanging on your walls. Thomas says, like almost everybody else I know, I may not know art, but I know what I like. I bought the Barks painting of Scrooge because I like Carl's comic. So there you go. That is Roy Thomas right there. See? The stream climax. Yes, it is the final act. Yes, this is the one we've been waiting for. And I didn't disappoint. And I totally forgot about the other stuff he said here too that just basically just blows it out the water. Purely based stuff by Roy Thomas. There you go. See? Screen cap this. Screen cap that. I read it verbatim what he said. If you're the GOAT, you shouldn't have to say you are. No, the community will tell you that. That's why I remembered not to get too worked up when people said that my stuff was shit or that my art wasn't good, because it isn't up to them to decide that. And when I say that, I mean other creators. Other creators had looked at my stuff and said they didn't like it. They thought it was crap and all this stuff. And I'm like, what are you judging? What is the standard that you're judging it on? Because I didn't pretend it to be anything other than what it is, and not to be in competition with other books with admittedly better art. But that's a conversation for another day. But no, I don't understand that these books that I'm doing years from now are going to get the accolades I'm looking for, and I probably won't be around for it, and I'm okay with that because it's history. That's just the way it is. But for while I'm here, I'm hoping I get to see people enjoy it and be entertained by it. So, let's see here. Okay, this says, Roy said he was looking at new artist samples. I think he said his wife told him to relook at one artist sample. That artist, Todd McFarlane. Yeah, McFarlane's stuff was definitely an acquired taste. I'll say that. I mean, I liked his stuff on Spider-Man and his Venom is iconic, but I wasn't the biggest. Although McFarlane is better than Liefeld. I'll say that up and down every day of my life. Someone told me to check out Sonic. No, D-Wag, no. Stay away from that. It has destroyed lives. You don't want that. Henry Thune says, I really like the style with the shading you use. I hope to do a review stream when I'm done. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I love review streams by people that have done Road Warrior Drake. The most prominent one was the one on Will Red's channel. He had Twitless on, Dark Gift on, Wiggle, and Cider. But Twitless' review is the one you should check out on that stream. Out of all the people on that panel, it's Twitless you should check out his review on. I think he gave the most objective and honest review of that book. And it goes to show you that he understood the madness with which I was approaching that book. So definitely check that out. So yeah, I would say after you read Street Champion Road Warrior Drake, go to Will Red's channel and look at his review of the book. And compare notes. And you're going to see the madness with which I was approaching it was genius. Hail Henry Thune. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. And on that note, I'm going to call it quits, guys. Have a great rest of your evening. Hail to the chat. Who's bullying who in this chat? Nobody. Well, I don't know who's bullying. I don't know. McFarlane's stuff has been Liefeld. Ooh, bold statement. Was I not supposed to say that? I guess you're making fun of me, right? KSS? I guess so. This is for you. I dedicate this to all the KSS of the world. Have a good night.
You know what they say, nobody gives a Hummer like a gummer.
And thank you,